Let's take a step back and really walk through this slowly, because a lot has been happening at once, and people online are trying to figure it all out piece by piece. When you look at everything involving Claressa Shields, Remy Ma, and Papoose, it doesn't even feel like real life at times. It feels more like a drama series playing out in front of everyone, where each person is adding something new to the story. For a while now, people have been paying close attention to Claressa and how she moves, especially when it comes to anything connected to Remy and Papoose. She hasn't stayed in the background. Instead, she's been very open, speaking her mind and stepping into conversations that many feel she didn't need to be part of. One moment that really stood out to viewers was when she spoke during interviews about Papoose's marriage. That alone made people pause, because most people believe that topics like that should stay between the people actually involved. At the same time, there have been a few moments online that left people confused. Some viewers believe Claressa may have joined conversations or called into shows in a way that made it seem like she was someone else at first. Later, people started questioning if it was actually her the whole time. Nobody can fully confirm that, but added to the idea that she was more involved than she appeared on the surface. Then you have the social media side of things, which made everything even more interesting. There was a moment when she was seen riding around New York City in a luxury car. A lot of people quickly assumed it belonged to her or Papoose. Blogs picked it up fast, and it started to look like they were living this high-end lifestyle together. But later on, people began to question whether that car was actually theirs or just something rented for the moment. That small detail changed how some viewers looked at the situation, because it made it feel more like performance rather than everyday reality. Around that same time, people started noticing smaller details too. Claressa was using certain phrases and references that many people associate with Remy. These included lines or expressions that Remy is known for. Some fans didn't think much of it and saw it as normal influence, but others felt like it was more than that. They started pointing out similarities in the way she talked, acted, and even carried herself. That's when the word copying started being used more often in conversations online. While all of this was happening, Remy took a very different approach. She stayed quiet for a long time. She didn't respond to every comment or react to every post. Instead, she let things play out without stepping in. That silence didn't go unnoticed. In fact, it made people even more curious. A lot of viewers were waiting for the moment she would finally respond, wondering what she would say when she did. The situation really shifted after Papoose did a long interview. During that conversation, he talked about different parts of his life, including personal matters. Some people felt like he wasn't being fully honest, while others believe he was just explaining his side. Either way, the interview brought Remy's name back into the spotlight in a major way, and that changed the energy around everything. Not long after that, Remy responded, but not through social media arguments or interviews. She chose music. She released a diss track, and that's when things really picked up. The song was direct and didn't leave much room for confusion. In just a short time, she addressed both Claressa and Papoose, and people immediately started breaking down every line. One of the biggest things listeners focused on was the idea of imitation. In the song, Remy suggested that someone was trying to compete with her or copy her style. At the same time, she made it clear that she didn't see it as real competition. That line alone had people connecting the dots and saying it was clearly aimed at Claressa. She also spoke about Papoose, especially when it came to claims about helping with her success. In the track, she made it clear that she didn't agree with that idea. According to her, he wasn't responsible for her career in the way some people believe. That part of the song sparked a lot of discussion because it challenged something that many fans had accepted for years. Another topic that stood out was money. Remy pointed out that there's a difference between talking about wealth and actually having it. She suggested that people who truly have money don't need to constantly remind others about it. That message hit hard, especially since Claressa has been known to show her success online, whether through jewelry, cars, or business deals. At the same time, people remembered moments where Claressa questioned smaller expenses or talked about costs in a different way. That contrast made some viewers feel like the image being presented didn't fully match reality. It became part of the ongoing discussion, with people debating what's real and what's just for show. Remy also touched on confidence and identity. She hinted that trying to fit into a certain image doesn't always work if it doesn't come naturally. That message connected with a lot of people, especially those who already felt like Claressa was trying to present herself in a way that didn't fully match who she is. As expected, once the song dropped, the internet did what it always does. People started digging up old clips, interviews, and moments from the past. Things that were forgotten suddenly came back into the spotlight. Everyone was trying to use these clips to support their opinions, whether they were defending one side or criticizing the other. Some of the conversations went beyond the main issue and turned personal. People started talking about appearance, lifestyle choices, and other private matters. In some cases, the comments went too far and became disrespectful. But that didn't stop the discussion from spreading. Claressa didn't stay completely silent during all of this. Instead of releasing a diss track of her own, she responded in a different way. She posted messages, shared songs, and used captions that many people believe were aimed at Remy without directly mentioning her name. It was more subtle, but still clear enough for people to understand what she was doing. That kind of response created even more conversation. Some fans thought it was a smart way to handle things, while others felt like she should respond directly instead of hinting. Either way, it kept her in the spotlight and made sure people kept talking about her. Meanwhile, Papoose has been much quieter compared to everything happening around him. He hasn't been posting much or making public statements. That silence has stood out to a lot of people. Some believe he's trying to stay out of the drama, while others think his silence says more than words ever could. Whatever the reason, it has added another layer to the situation. When you look at everything as a whole, it's clear that this situation is about more than just one song or one interview. It's about image perception and how quickly things can change online. One moment, everything seems calm. The next moment, it turns into a major topic with thousands of people sharing their opinions. It also shows how powerful social media is when it comes to shaping stories. A single post, video, or lyric can be interpreted in many different ways. People choose sides, create their own theories, and sometimes treat assumptions like facts. Once that happens, it becomes very hard to control the narrative. Another important thing to understand is how public figures are judged. Every move they make is watched closely, whether it's a car, an outfit, or a simple comment. Everything becomes part of a bigger picture. And once people start forming opinions, those opinions spread fast. Right now, there's no clear ending to the situation. Remy has made her statement through music. Claressa is responding in her own way through posts and subtle messages. Papoose is staying mostly quiet, which keeps people guessing about what he's thinking. What happens next is still uncertain. Some people believe this will lead to more music and more back and forth. Others think things will eventually calm down and fade away. And then there are those who believe the real solution should happen privately, away from social media and public attention. At the end of the day, everyone involved has their own side of the story, but the internet will keep talking no matter what. People will continue to analyze every detail, share their opinions, and build their own versions of what they think is true. So now it really comes down to perspective. Do you see this as entertainment, something that's just part of online culture? Or do you think there's something deeper going on behind the scenes that hasn't fully come out yet? Either way, one thing is clear. People are watching closely, and this conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon.